associates. So nice. Also, as I say that I always say that, Shilpi Nisika, they join always before me. So I asked them, what happened today? So they wrote their daughter is not doing good. So let's everybody keep her in our prayer so she can recover whatever she is suffering from. Thank you very much. So we are reading from the Krishna book, chapter 45. Uddhava visits Vrindavan. And because of the Sunday off, I would like to read one paragraph to bring up to the speed, and then we will continue. Uddhava is described as the most exalted personality in Vrishni dynasty, almost equal to Krishna. He was a great friend, and on account of being the direct student of Brihaspati, the spiritual master of all the demigods, the teacher and the priest of the heavenly planets, he was very intelligent and sharp in decision. And we can see from the life of that how Uddhava made his journey successful. From the intellectual standpoint, he was highly qualified. Krishna, being a very loving friend of Uddhava and for all of us, wanted to send him to Vrindavan just to study the highly elevated aesthetic devotional service practiced there. Even if one is highly elevated in material education and is even the disciple of Brihaspati, he still has to learn from the gopis and the residents of Vrindavan how to love Krishna to the highest degree. Sending Uddhava to Vrindavan with a message to the residents of Vrindavan to pacify them was Krishna's actually special favor to Uddhava. So we will continue. Lord Krishna's name is Hari, which means one who takes away all the distress from the surrendered soul. Lord Chaitanya states, there cannot be at any time a worship as exalted as that realized by the gopis. Being very anxious about the gopis' grief, Krishna talked with Uddhava and politely requested him to go to Vrindavan. Shaking Uddhava's hand with his own hands, Krishna spoke to him as follows. My dear gentle friend Uddhava, please go immediately to Vrindavan and try to pacify my father and mother, Nand Maharaj and Yashoda Devi and the gopis. They are very much grief-stricken, as if suffering from great ailments. Go and give them a message. I hope their ailments will be partially relieved. The gopis are always absorbed in thought of me. They have dedicated body, desire, life and soul to me. I'm anxious not only for the gopis, but for anyone who sacrifices society, friendship, love, and personal comfort for me. Haribol. It is my duty to protect such exalted devotees. The gopis are the most dear. They're always thinking of me in such a way that they remain overwhelmed, almost dead in anxiety due to separation from me. They are keeping alive simply by thinking that I'm returning to them very soon. Haribo. It's like I'm really fond of the class of His Holiness Guru Govinda Swami Maharaj also. That when the rainy season is there, all this turtle will be swimming in the water in the pond and everything. And when the scorching heat of summer comes, what the turtle do? They goes down and down in the earth just so they can get little moisture to survive. So this is same thing like a gopis. They wants to survive in the separation because their whole life is belong to Krishna. So requested by Lord Krishna, Uddhava immediately left on his chariot. There is no hesitations. When Krishna says there is no, Uddhava will say, oh Krishna, you have to give me 2-3 days. I'm working on such and such thing. Let me have little time. No, they have no agenda on their plate. That's something we should learn. Immediately left on his chariot and carried the message to Gokul. He approached Vrindavan at sunset when the cows were returning home from the pasturing ground. What a wonderful scene. Uddhava and his chariots were covered by the dust raised by the hooves of the cows. He saw bulls running after cow for mating. Other cows with overladen milk bag were running after the cows to fill them with milk. Uddhava saw that the entire land of Vrindavan was filled with white cows and their calves. Haribo. Cows were running here and there all over Gokul, and he could hear the sound of milking. Every residential house in Vrindavan was decorated for the worship of the sun god and the fire god, and for the receptions of guests, cows, brahmanas, and demigods. Every home was illuminated with light and incense arranged for sanctification. All over Vrindavan, there were nice flower garlands, flying birds, and the humming sound of the bees. The lakes were filled with lotus flowers and with ducks and swans. What a beautiful place to live, right? We see in this material world some country that has a beautiful, rainforest or something, we become attracted what to speak of Vrindavan. We have not yet seen the beauty of Vrindavan. Uddhava entered the house of Nanda Maharaj and was received as a representative of Vasudeva. Nanda Maharaj offered him a place and sat down with him to ask about message from Krishna, Balram and other family members in Mathura. He could understand that Uddhava was a very confidential friend of Krishna and therefore must have come with good message. So Nand Baba is speaking to Uddhava as follows. My dear Uddhava, how is my friend Vasudeva enjoying life? He is now released from the prison of Kamsa, and he is now with his friend and his children, Krishna and Balram. So he must be very happy. Tell me about him and his welfare. We are also very happy that Kamsa, the most sinful demon, is now killed. He was always envious of the family of the Yadus. his friend and relatives, including his father. Remember, he, he wants to take that kingdom. Now, because of his sinful activity, he is dead and gone, along with all his brothers. If we are sinful, reaction will come to us. So he continued, please let us know now whether Krishna is remembering his father and mother and his friends and companions in Vrindavan. Does he like to remember his cows, his gopis, his Govardhan hill, his pasturing ground in Vrindavan? Or has he forgotten all this now? Is there any possibility of his coming back to his friends and relatives so that we can again see his beautiful face with its raised nose and lotus-like eyes? We remember how he saved us from the forest fire. This is the beauty of the Brajvasis. They always remember these wonderful pastimes. They need little chance and they will just reveal. How he saved us from the great snake Kalya in the Yamuna. How he saved us from so many other demons. And we simply think how much we are obliged to him for giving us protection in so many dangerous positions. Krishna has helped us so much, but we don't remember. Haribol. My dear Uddhava, when we think of Krishna's beautiful face and eyes and his different activities here in Vrindavan, we become so overwhelmed that all our activities cease. Haribol. We simply think of Krishna, how he used to smile, how he looked upon us. When we go to the banks of the Yamuna and other lakes of Vrindavan, or near Govardhan Hill, all the pasturing field, we see that the impression of Krishna's footprints are still on the surface of the earth. Who can see this? Only divine vision. Pure heart can see it. And it says that all the Brajavasis, including birds and ants and reptiles and all living beings, they just make sure that they never walk over the footprints of Krishna. So giving us a chance to see them one day. Haribol, how kind they are. We remember him playing in those places because he was constantly visiting them. When his appearance within our mind becomes manifest, we immediately become absorbed in thought of him. Haribol. Nand Maharaj didn't stop. He continued. We think, therefore, that Krishna and Balram may be chief demigod in heaven, who have appeared before us like ordinary boys in order to execute particular duties on earth. This was also foretold by Garg Muni when making Krishna's horoscope. If Krishna were not a great personality, how could he have killed Kamsa, who possessed the strength of 10,000 elephants? Beside Kamsa, there were very strong wrestlers, as well as the giant elephant Kuvalyapit. See, this is the beauty of Brajvasis. They recall all these things. All these animals and demons were killed by him, just as a lion kills an ordinary animal. How wonderful it is that Krishna took in one hand the big heavy bow made of 3 joined palm trees and broke it very quickly. How wonderful it is that continually for 7 days he held up Govardhan Hill in one hand on the pinky finger. How wonderful it is that he kills all the demons like Pralambasur, Dhenukasur, Aristasur, Trunavrat, and Bakasur. They were so strong that even the demigod in the heavenly planets were afraid of them. But Krishna killed them as easily as anything. So while describing the uncommon activities of Krishna before Uddhava, Nand Maharaj gradually became overwhelmed and could not speak anymore. As for Mother Yasoda, she sat by the side of her husband and heard the pastime of Krishna without speaking. She was simply crying incessantly, and milk was pouring from her breast. How much love they must have. When Uddhava saw Maharaj Nanda and Yasoda so extraordinarily overwhelmed with thoughts of Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead, and when he experienced their extraordinary affections for him, he also became overwhelmed and began to speak as follows. This is what it happened when we associate with those personalities. We gain their strength. So now Uddhava started talking. My dear mother Yashoda and Nand Maharaj, you are most respectable among human beings because no one but you can meditate in such transcendental ecstasy. You know how they must be presenting so sweet voice, right? And with so many expression you can see on their face and the body. That must be a very wonderful experience for Uddhava to see it. Lord Balram and Krishna are the original personality of Godhead, from whom the cosmic manifestation is emanating. Uddhava now revealed the position of Krishna to Nanda Baba and Yasoda. They are chief among all personalities. Both of them are the effective cause of this material creation. Material nature is conducted by the Purusha incarnations, who are all acting under Krishna and Balram. By their partial representation, they enter in the hearts of all living beings. They are the source of all knowledge and all forgetfulness also. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter. I am present in everyone's heart, and I cause one to remember and to forget. I am the original compiler of the Vedanta, and I am the actual knower of the Vedas. If at time of death a person can fix his pure mind upon Krishna, even for a moment, he becomes eligible to give up this material body and appear in his original spiritual body. Just as the sun rises with all illumination. Passing from his life in this way, he immediately entered into the spiritual kingdom, Vaikuntha. This is the result of Krishna conscious practice. So if we practice Krishna consciousness in this present body, while we are in a healthy condition, because brother and sister just wait, old age is sinking in. I was telling Uttama Bhakta Prabhu yesterday, we were relishing prasadam with his company. And I was telling Uttama Bhakta Prabhu that, Prabhuji, old age is sinking in. Look at that. Now we cannot sit that long. We need some time to get up from the floor, put the hand and get support. Days are ahead of us. But when that healthy condition is there, in a good mind, simply by chanting the holy Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, we will have every possibility of fixing our mind upon Krishna at the time of that. Guaranteed. Haribol. So if that is done while we are healthy condition, then even when you are unable to even utter the holy name at the end of that life, Krishna will remind us to see the Mahamantra in our vision, even though our eyes are closed. The Mahamantra will appear in our vision, and we will be able to recite in our mind and heart. If that is done, then our life becomes successful without any doubt. Don't keep any doubt. Similarly, if we keep our mind always absorbed in fruitive activities for material enjoyment, then naturally at the time of that, we shall think of such activities and again be forced to enter into the material world. So we have to become so much detached from these activities, slowly and slowly, but we must give up those activities. We shall think of such activities and again be forced to enter into the material world, conditioned body to suffer the threefold miseries of this material existence. That's what we are preparing. We don't have time. I was listening to the class of Niranjan Swami Maharaj, and he was telling, if you ask the devotees, they said, "Oh Maharaj, I have so many things to do. How can I have the time peacefully sit and chant Hare Krishna?" And Maharaj giving the answers. What is the goal of your life? What is the most essential thing that you want to achieve in your life? And if you think that deliver your soul from the engagement of this material existence, then you must give topmost priority. And Maharaj was making the same point as I repeat so many times. Reduce your eating and sleeping. What is the problem? You can chant minimum 32 rounds before you go to work even, and have a blissful time. And Krishna may find you a job where you can chant constantly, even at the work. Even they pay you the money to chant the Hare Krishna, possible. So, therefore, to remain always absorbed in Krishna consciousness was the standard of the inhabitants of Vrindavan, and that's what we need to learn, as exhibited by Maharaj and Yashodas and Gopi. That's why they are saying how they remember Krishna when they are in a separation from Krishna, and how they relish the time when they have with Krishna. They observe so nicely, and they remember everything, how Krishna was smiling, how he was dealing with all of the gopis and gopas, and they churn those pastimes into their mind and heart. How they can become separated from Krishna? Not a chance. So if we can simply follow in their footsteps, even to a minute proportion, what to speak of completely. The Acharya is so graceful to us. Even minute proportion, do something great. Our life will surely become successful, and we will enter into the spiritual kingdom Vaikuntha. Minute proportion will make us eligible. Haribol. So Uddhava is continued. Now he cannot stop when the things come about Krishna. And how respectfully and how wonderfully he is addressing, my dear mother Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj. Uddhava continued. You have thus fixed your mind wholly and solely upon that Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana in his transcendental form, the cause of impersonal Brahman. The Brahman effulgence is only the bodily ray of Narayana. Haribol, I just look at the clock. We ran 1 minute over. So I think let's just wait. Uddhava will continue speaking. We should be punctual. Thank you very much. Krishna is so kind to give me a glance at my Chromebook so I can see the time 6:56. Sorry. Please forgive me for delay 1 minute. But with those thoughts, practice what the Brajavasis has been doing and make our life successful. And whoever you come across, give them a kind word that their life can also become successful. With those thoughts, I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the desk of these wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, who is taking so much austerity, to wake up early in the morning. It's not that easy to give up that bed, but they take austerity. So I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the desk of these wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. And to those children from Boston also, they are in my heart and mind. I want to offer my humble obeisances to them also. So those devotees who joined from Connecticut, New Hampshire, Aurora, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Cottonville, Virginia, Boston, Boise, Atlanta, Phoenix, Tempe, Austin, College Station, San Jose, Portland, Dallas, Detroit. When I name those, I can see those devotees who lives in those cities. Haribol. They are becoming so much in my mind and thought. Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, Naperville, Philadelphia, Charlotte, Baltimore, Baton Rouge, Alachua, Orlando, Jacksonville, Ohio, St. Louis, Loganville, Georgia, San Diego, Alaska, Maine, Ottawa, New Orleans, Laguna Beach, Vancouver, Toronto, Calcutta, New Delhi, Houston, Fresno, and sometimes we get from Bangladesh and Jammu and Kashmir. So thank you very